Just a few days left of early voting and a few days more until Election Day. We're seeing some record numbers here in Bexar County, across Texas, and really the rest of the nation. We want to bring in somebody who's been looking at those numbers. Ferris Sabawi, a member of our own digital team, our own digital journalist. Ferris, nice to see you. It's been a couple of months since we've seen you in person. Hello virtually. Tell us what you're looking at when it comes to the numbers here locally. What stands out to you?
Yeah, so we're seeing, just a really big turnout during the early voting so far. That's been something that's been really interesting to us already, especially because of the extra week of early voting. We've seen more than 543,000 people come out in Bexar County to cast the ballot. That's already 45% of registered voters. So that's a really, really good sign. One thing we're really interested in is to see if the turnout percentage-wise is higher than 2016. Of course, we expect the sheer number of votes to be higher than 2016 because this county has had so much growth. But the interesting thing we're looking at is, will turnout just, as a percentage be higher than 4 years ago?
A lot of talk about the youth vote out there, and I've appreciated how you've crunched the numbers on our website, but a lot of talk about the youth vote out there. Are we seeing the youth vote that appears to be turning out statewide, turning out in Bexar County, or is there a way to determine that?
So Bexar County does not keep demographic data like that. Their elections department doesn't keep it on hand. Anecdotally, we've seen a lot more young people come out. But statewide, Steve, like you said, we've already seen 6 times the turnout at this point last year. When you look at Circle, which is a research organization from Tufts University, they've been looking into youth voter turnout quite a bit. And, they had found that already 753,000 voters under 30 have already cast a vote in this 2020 election, compared to the same time in 2016, with 11 days ahead of the election. Only 106,000 had casted a vote in 2016. So the youth vote is definitely up, and I'm pretty sure Bexar County is a part of it. We've seen it in other counties as well, and I'm really interested to see where that number ends up. Voters under 30 in 2016, they only made up less than a third of the voters in the presidential election. I'm interested to see if they're going to take up a bigger piece of that pie.
There are so many interesting ways to look at these numbers. Yes, we do have, as you said, the record number of registered voters in Bexar County, but we're seeing a record turnout already as well. So are those two linked? Is it just more of an interest, more people being energized? But I know that you have actually put a guide out there for the people who have not voted yet. I think a lot of people would argue, well, there's not many undecideds left, given those big numbers, but they're out there. So you have a voter's guide people can access on our website. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it was actually my colleague Julie Moreno, but we put together this really fantastic Procrastinators guide to voting, if you haven't done so already. And what's really cool about this that I like is we've put every piece of information in there that you could use. And so part of it is making sure you're registered, what you can't wear to the polls, like any campaign gear, things like that. But we also have a voting guide. We have links to voting guides that you can go check out. And we also have our own coverage on every big race that you're going to see if you live in Bexar County on that ballot. So what I love about that is we're not just telling you to go out there and it's not too late and head to the polls, but we actually give you a chance to look at the voter guide, read our coverage, learn more about these candidates before you make it out there. And you can still early vote until Friday. So there's still a couple of days. If you want to simmer on that, read some of that stuff, come back to it the next day. Maybe you want to sleep on it and come back, and that's fine too.
I'm a political geek. You know that. You've worked in the newsroom with me long enough. Election night to me, the live stream we do is kind of like Wayne's World, like we could do it in my mom's basement. Talk about the numbers that we've talked about and what that shows you. Is there a conclusion that you can come to, or that you've seen people come to, with the increased turnout, with the youth vote? Does this favor one party or the other?
Experts generally will say that the youth vote in this case will likely favor Biden. But the other thing that's interesting is, when it comes to Texas, we're seeing a lot of turnout in a lot of counties. But some of the counties we're seeing that big turnout in are actually traditionally Republican counties, like Tarrant County, like Collin County. And so what I'm interested in seeing is if this youth vote that's supposed to be as big as they're saying it is it going to be enough to really switch, to flip some of these counties, to flip some of these congressional districts? And I think, moreover, what I'm looking for is the down ballot impact of this increase in voting, especially from the youth. It's hard to believe, but the Texas House is only nine seats away from flipping to Democrats. And so that's something else I'm really interested in seeing. These youth votes can definitely change the result of a race. It's just not exactly clear who they're supporting, especially in Texas. But I'm interested to see, again, not the impact just on the presidential election, but down the ballot all the way.
And that's so important to mention. It's not just the big race at the top, a lot of those down ballot races as well, plus the tax propositions that San Antonio voters are going to decide on, which will have a direct impact to all of us here in San Antonio. You can find all of that information as well as that Procrastinators voter guide on our website right now at KSAT.com. Farah Sabawi, our own digital journalist, it's nice to see you, and thanks so much for weighing in.
Have me back on anytime, guys.
Well, you're invited to come into the basement, the virtual basement with us on election night. We'll talk about numbers.
Steve, I'll be there.
All right. It's a good deal. All right. Ferris, appreciate your time. We'll be right back.